Throughout history, the sky has always symbolized the power of a nation. But in 2025, if you look up at the skies over America, you will only see a cold, eerie silence. International airlines are pulling out, and the flight routes connecting major cities to the world are gradually disappearing, leaving American airports empty and still. What has caused this emptiness in the sky? Is this a sign of a loss of faith in America's aviation industry? Or is there something deeper happening in global travel behavior? In today's video, we'll explore the 6 major airlines pulling out of the US and the impact this decision will have on the economy and the American people. If you agree with what we've shared, leave a 1 in the comments. If you have a different opinion, feel free to leave a 0. Enjoy the video and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support us. Now let's dive into this story. Iceland, once a popular choice for Nordic travelers heading to the US on affordable flights, is now facing a new trend: a decline in the number of passengers flying from Northern Europe to the US via Iceland. This not only signals a shift in travel behavior, but also reflects significant changes in the global airline industry. So, what is driving this change, and what lessons can airlines learn from this phenomenon? One of the biggest factors contributing to the decline of cheap flights from Iceland to the US is the rise in operational costs, particularly fuel prices. In recent years, oil prices have fluctuated significantly, directly affecting airfares. Airlines have been forced to adjust ticket prices to offset the increasing fuel costs, making cheap flights less attractive. Flights from Northern Europe to the US via Iceland, which were once known for their affordability, are no longer competitive compared to other options, leading passengers to seek alternative routes. In addition to cost factors, a significant shift in international travelers' behavior is also playing a key role. Unlike in the past, when budget flights via Iceland were popular, many Northern European travelers now prefer direct flights to destinations like Canada, Mexico, or countries in Asia, rather than transiting through Iceland. These direct flights not only save time, but also help travelers avoid the inconvenience of transferring at connecting airports. This is especially important as travelers increasingly prioritize convenience and shorter travel times. Another factor that cannot be overlooked is the political, security, and global crises, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, that have caused many travelers to turn away from the US. Issues such as immigration policies, security situations, and recent political turmoil have led many Northern European travelers to feel uneasy about visiting the US. The societal instability, combined with public health concerns, has made flights to the US via Iceland no longer the preferred option. Instead, safer and closer destinations, such as neighboring European countries or other regions, have become more attractive to travelers. The mindset of Northern European travelers has also undergone a significant change when it comes to choosing travel destinations. In the past, when the US was considered a dream destination, flying to the US via Iceland was a great experience, not only due to affordable fares, but also because of Iceland's beauty. However, today, Northern European travelers tend to seek destinations that are less complicated and safer. Especially in the context of the ongoing impact of the pandemic on international travel. Countries in Asia, such as Japan, South Korea, Singapore, or destinations within Europe, have become more popular because they offer higher safety levels and avoid complicated health and security checks. From this change, airlines can draw several important lessons. First, they need to adapt to changing customer demands, especially in the face of ever-evolving economic and political conditions. Focusing solely on a low-cost strategy may no longer be enough to attract travelers as before. Instead, airlines should invest in service quality and customer experience. Today's travelers are not only looking for a cheap flight, but also value comfort, safety, and efficiency in their travel. Moreover, the growth of direct flights between countries and the demand for premium services are also playing a significant role in attracting international customers. Airlines should focus on direct flights or value-added services such as spacious seating, special in-flight services, and premium amenities to meet the growing demands of customers. Airlines also need to take proactive steps to build trust with their passengers. They must provide clear information about the security and political situation of destinations, and ensure that safety measures are implemented thoroughly throughout the flight. Particularly in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, protecting passengers' health and safety is paramount to attracting them back. The international aviation industry will continue to change in the future, and airlines need to be prepared to face these changes. The growth of direct flights, along with high demand for quality service and safety, will shape the future of the industry. More than ever, travelers are seeking convenience and personalized care throughout their journey, and this is an opportunity for airlines to enhance the value of their services. Iceland may have once been a popular choice for many travelers, but today, changes in travel behavior, costs, and political and security issues have shifted the dynamics of the global aviation industry. This serves as a reminder to airlines about the importance of understanding customers' changing needs and trends. If airlines fail to adapt, they will face a decline in international traveler interest. Airlines need to innovate their strategies, not only focusing on low costs, but also improving service quality and offering better travel experiences for customers in the future. One of the most noticeable changes in international tourism in recent years is the clear shift of Canadians from traveling to the US to opting for domestic destinations or other countries. This is not just a temporary trend, but rather a profound change in the relationship between the two neighboring nations, significantly impacting the global tourism industry. This change reflects not only a reaction to political issues, but also a shift in the habits and priorities of Canadians. One of the key factors behind this shift in Canadian travel trends is politics and immigration issues. During President Donald Trump's administration, U.S. immigration policies became stricter and highly controversial. Tight immigration controls, including travel bans from certain countries and decisions on asylum policies, created a sense of unease among Canadians. Entering the U.S. became more difficult and complex, leading to concerns among Canadians about potential legal issues or discrimination upon entering the U.S. These factors created an invisible barrier, prompting Canadians to seek alternative travel destinations that felt safer and more accessible. In addition, political tensions between the U.S. and other countries, especially trade issues, have tarnished America's image in the eyes of some Canadians. Political crises such as internal instability, protests, and increasing political conflicts have made Canadians uncomfortable traveling to the U.S. This tension not only affects the relationship between the countries, but also alters perceptions of safety and the friendliness of the U.S. Another contributing factor to this shift is the strong growth of domestic tourism in Canada. In recent years, domestic destinations have become the preferred choice for Canadians. British Columbia, with its stunning natural landscapes, long beaches, lush forests, and vast national parks, has attracted a significant number of domestic tourists. Popular destinations like Vancouver, Whistler, and areas along the Pacific coast have become favored choices. These regions not only offer natural beauty, but also provide a rich cultural heritage, diverse history, and numerous outdoor activities. The trend of Canadians rediscovering their homeland highlights a return to oneself in tourism, where factors such as safety, convenience, and geographical proximity are more important than ever. This shift reflects a change in the mindset of travelers, with a preference for destinations that are closer and easier to access rather than long and complex trips. Not only British Columbia, but other areas such as Alberta, Ontario, and Eastern Canada have also seen a rise in domestic tourists. Travel companies have quickly adapted to this trend by offering domestic tours and unique experiences to attract Canadian travelers. This change is not just a response to political issues, but also a reflection of new consumer behaviors. Younger generations are increasingly interested in unique, environmentally friendly travel experiences. Domestic tourism is not only cost-effective, but also reduces the negative environmental impact compared to international flights. Additionally, domestic travel allows Canadians to explore more of their country's culture and history, while also supporting local economies. This trend also shows that tourism is influenced not only by external factors such as politics and security, but also by internal factors such as changes in mindset and lifestyle. Today, Canadians are more inclined to choose nearby destinations, places where they feel safe, easily accessible, and where they can have a fulfilling travel experience without going too far. These changes offer valuable lessons for the tourism industry, not only in Canada but globally. First, tourism destinations need to pay attention to changes in travelers' mindsets and needs. Travel companies must adapt to the return to homeland trend and provide products that meet the modern demands of customers. The second lesson is that the tourism industry must focus on safety and convenience, especially as political and security issues can influence travelers' choices. Third, businesses in the tourism industry need to recognize that offering unique, locally inspired, and environmentally friendly experiences will attract travelers, not just for cost reasons, but because of a growing concern for nature and community preservation. Lastly, destinations and tourism services need to develop new promotional strategies that emphasize the cultural and natural value of the country, encouraging locals to explore their own homeland. The shift in Canadian travel habits, with people turning away from the US and seeking domestic or international destinations, not only reflects changes in travel behavior, but also serves as a warning sign of a changing relationship between neighboring countries. Political, security, and domestic tourism developments have reshaped Canadians' travel choices. This presents an opportunity for the Canadian tourism industry to grow and create innovative new products that meet the needs of today's travelers. In recent years, German airlines have started reducing the number of flights from Germany to the US, while shifting their focus to routes to Asia. This trend not only reflects a change in traveler behavior, but also highlights security concerns, rising costs, and a shift in international travel trends. The reduction of flights to the US, along with the increase in flights to Asia, emphasizes key trends in the global tourism industry that airlines need to take note of. One of the main reasons German travelers are reducing flights to the US is concerns over security. Gun violence, violent crimes, and political protests in recent years have made Germans feel unsafe when traveling to the US. Armed attacks, especially in public spaces, have raised unease not only for European travelers but also for people from other parts of the world. Additionally, political and social instability in the US in recent years, particularly the riots and protests against government policies, has contributed to a decline in travelers' trust in the safety of traveling to the US. These factors, combined with unstable security issues, have led many travelers, including Germans, to choose safer destinations. Moreover, the rising cost of travel, particularly the price of airfares and travel services, has also been a key factor in Germans reducing flights to the US. Airline tickets have become more expensive, coupled with high living costs in major US cities such as New York, Los Angeles, or San Francisco, making travel to the US more expensive for many people. This increase in costs is even more pronounced when compared to destinations elsewhere, particularly in Asia, where there are lower costs and diverse travel services at affordable prices. Amid the global economic recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, travelers are becoming more sensitive to travel costs. Flights to Asia, especially to countries like Japan, South Korea, Thailand, and Singapore, have become attractive alternatives, offering both safety and significant savings compared to traveling to the US. Lower prices, the convenience of direct flights, and high-quality travel services have made Asia a rising destination for German travelers. Asia has become a popular alternative for German travelers seeking international destinations that are safe, easy to access, and more affordable. Countries like Japan, South Korea, and Singapore not only offer beautiful landscapes but also have convenient public transportation systems and reasonable living costs. Additionally, these countries have easier visa policies and high security, which increases their appeal to German travelers. Meanwhile, US destinations no longer hold the same attraction they once did. While the US still has many appealing tourist destinations, factors like high costs, security issues, and political instability have led many travelers to turn away. This reflects a larger trend in global tourism, where travelers are increasingly looking for safety, convenience, and affordable prices. Germany is not the only country experiencing this change. Many other European countries are also seeing a decline in flights to the US and are prioritizing other destinations. Countries like France, the UK, and the Nordic nations have begun seeing a drop in the number of tourists traveling to the US, while Asia and regions like the Middle East are attracting an increasing number of tourists. This demonstrates that factors like security, costs, and the rise of emerging destinations are influencing global travel trends. European countries are now focusing not just on promoting travel to the US, but also expanding opportunities to regions like Asia, which offer higher safety levels and more affordable costs. From this shift, the global tourism industry can draw several important lessons. First, travel destinations need to reassess how they build their image and ensure the safety of their visitors. Issues related to security and politics not only affect international tourists, but also reduce trust in traditional destinations like the US. Therefore, maintaining a safe and stable travel environment is crucial. The second lesson is that destinations must be flexible in pricing their travel services. Reducing airfare and travel service costs will help attract tourists, especially in a global economy that is still unstable. The fact that German airlines are prioritizing flights to Asia could signal that today's travelers are looking for more cost-effective options without sacrificing service quality. The shift in travel trends of German travelers, as they reduce flights to the US and prioritize destinations in Asia, reflects a significant change in international traveler behavior and priorities. Security concerns, rising costs, and the growth of emerging destinations in Asia have made the US less popular for German tourists. This is an important reminder to the global tourism industry about the necessity of creating a safe and cost-effective environment to attract international travelers. In recent years, France and the Netherlands have witnessed a sharp decline in the number of flights from these countries to the US, with an increasing number of flights being redirected to destinations in Asia. This change represents a noticeable shift in travel behavior from two European countries, reflecting a loss of trust in the US due to political, economic, and social upheaval. The shift of airlines from France and the Netherlands towards Asia demonstrates a global trend where safety, convenience, and affordability are becoming top priorities for international travelers. One of the main factors driving the decline in flights to the US from France and the Netherlands is the major political upheavals in the US in recent years. Domestic political conflicts, such as political polarization and protests against the government, have eroded confidence in the stability and safety of the US for international travelers, especially those from countries with close ties like France and the Netherlands. US national security issues have also significantly influenced travel trends. Terrorist attacks, both domestic and abroad, along with violent crime incidents, have caused many travelers from France and the Netherlands to feel uneasy about visiting the US. They are now seeking safer, less risky destinations, which is why many have turned to Asia, where there is a higher level of security and more favorable entry policies. The rising cost of travel, particularly airfares from Europe to the US, has also contributed to this change. Airlines are facing increased operational costs, from higher fuel prices to other rising expenses, leading to higher ticket prices for passengers. These higher costs, combined with unstable security and political conditions, have made the US a less attractive destination for travelers from France and the Netherlands. Meanwhile, flights to Asian countries like Japan, South Korea, and China are becoming more accessible and convenient. European airlines have started to focus more on these destinations, where affordable prices and easier visa policies create an attractive option for travelers. Asia has emerged as an ideal destination, not only because of lower costs, but also due to its rich cultural diversity and abundant travel opportunities. Asia has become a popular alternative for travelers from France and the Netherlands. Countries like Japan, South Korea, and China not only offer unique travel experiences, but also ensure a high level of safety. Public transportation systems in these countries are well developed, making it convenient for travelers to get around without worrying about safety. Moreover, Asia also offers more flexible visa systems and easier entry policies compared to the US, making the region even more appealing to travelers. Furthermore, Asian countries are investing heavily in their tourism industries, with numerous international events, festivals, and sports activities that attract a large number of tourists. These factors make Asia an ideal destination for travelers from Europe, offering a much more cost-effective and secure option than traveling to the US. The decline in flights to the US is not a phenomenon limited to France and the Netherlands, but rather reflects a larger trend in European travel behavior. Many other European countries are also experiencing a decline in tourism to the US, while flights to Asia are seeing strong growth. This indicates that Europeans are increasingly prioritizing factors such as safety, affordability, and convenience when choosing travel destinations. The global tourism industry can draw several important lessons from this shift. First, tourist destinations need to consider political stability and security when trying to attract international visitors. Issues such as violence, protests, and social instability can significantly affect travelers' decisions when selecting a destination. Second, countries need to compete on the cost of travel to attract tourists. Lowering airfare prices, offering convenient and affordable services will help destinations maintain their appeal, especially as travelers are becoming more cost-conscious. Finally, tourist destinations need to adapt quickly to new travel trends, particularly the growing interest in Asian countries. Developing direct flights, improving tourism infrastructure, and providing high-quality services will be key factors in attracting international travelers. The decline in flights from France and the Netherlands to the US is a clear indication of changing travel behavior among Europeans. Factors such as security concerns, rising travel costs, and the strong development of destinations in Asia have made the US a less preferred option for many international travelers. This is an opportunity for the global tourism industry to reassess the essential factors needed to attract visitors, from improving security and reducing costs to developing new and promising destinations. If you agree with the changes in travel behavior and the trend of shifting flights from France and the Netherlands to Asia instead of the US, leave a 1 in the comments. If you disagree, feel free to leave a 0. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support us. Now let's follow the next developments of this story. One of the noticeable trends in international tourism today is the changing destination preferences of Australians. Instead of traveling to the US as they did in the past, Australians are now prioritizing closer and safer destinations like Tokyo, Bali, and Singapore. This shift not only reflects a change in travel mentality, but also highlights a strong trend towards choosing countries with shorter travel times, more affordable costs, and safer environments. A significant reason for Australians turning away from the US is geographic proximity. Flights from Australia to the US are long, ranging from 14 to 17 hours, which makes the journey tiring and time-consuming. Instead of spending an entire day just traveling, Australians now opt for closer destinations like Tokyo, Bali, and Singapore, where flight times are only around 7 to 8 hours. This not only saves time, but also offers a sense of convenience and ease for travelers. In addition, shorter travel times also significantly reduce travel costs. Long-haul flights to the US are not only expensive, but also require careful planning for rest stops and in-flight services. Flights to closer Asian countries help travelers save both time and money. Apart from geography, the declining confidence in safety when traveling to the US is another major factor driving Australians away. In recent years, incidents of gun violence, civil unrest, and security issues both within and outside the US have made many international travelers, including Australians, feel uneasy about visiting the country. While the US has many attractive tourist destinations, security concerns and violence in major cities have led tourists to feel unsafe when visiting crowded areas. Moreover, strict immigration policies and the political division within the US have made many Australians feel uncomfortable about traveling there. Protests, political conflicts, and social instability in the US have directly affected travelers' mindset, prompting them to seek countries where they feel safer and more comfortable. For these reasons, Australians have turned to other closer, safer, and more affordable destinations. Asian countries like Japan, Bali, and Singapore have become attractive alternatives to the US-Japan, with its unique culture and famous tourist spots such as Kyoto, Tokyo, and Osaka, not only attracts Australians but also provides a safe and civilized travel experience. Singapore, with its strong infrastructure and high safety levels, has become a popular destination for Australian tourists. Bali, with its beautiful beaches and affordable costs, is another compelling destination for Australians. Additionally, These countries offer a wide range of travel options, from cultural activities, sports, to luxury resorts. This has created strong appeal among Australian travelers, who are not only looking for a safe trip, but also want a rich and memorable travel experience. The change in Australians' travel habits is also reflected in the growing trend of domestic tourism. In recent years, many Australians have chosen to explore domestic destinations rather than travel far. Destinations like the Great Barrier Reef, Melbourne, Sydney, and other beautiful suburban areas have become popular choices for domestic tourists. This not only reflects a return to homeland trend, but also supports the development of domestic tourism with unique and easily accessible travel activities. This shift in Australians' travel habits offers an important lesson for the global tourism industry. Destinations need to ensure that safety and convenience are always prioritized. Factors like security, affordable costs, and short travel times are crucial to attracting international visitors. If these requirements are not met, traditional destinations like the US may continue to lose their appeal to international tourists. Countries and airlines should also focus on the growth of regional and domestic tourism, as people are increasingly looking for destinations that are closer and easier to access. Developing infrastructure, offering diverse tourism services, and creating new experiences will be key factors in attracting both domestic and international tourists. The shift in Australians' travel habits, with them turning away from the US and choosing closer destinations like Tokyo, Bali, and Singapore, reflects a clear trend in international travel behavior. Factors like cost, safety, and convenience in travel have strongly influenced Australians' choices. This is not only an important lesson for the tourism industry, but also a signal of a change in the mindset and needs of global travelers. Destinations need to adapt to these new factors to maintain their appeal and competitiveness in the global tourism industry. Recently, JetBlue and other airlines have begun reducing flights at small airports across the US. This shift is not only affecting the airline industry, but is also causing significant losses for small communities, where connectivity to larger regions often depends on domestic flights. The contraction of the airline network in the US is becoming a concerning issue, especially considering its impact on residents in areas with limited transportation options. One of the most evident consequences of flight cuts is the reduced travel options for residents in small communities. Small airports, which once served as crucial gateways connecting regions to larger cities, are now facing the loss of commercial flights. This creates a major access gap, particularly for people living in remote areas where public transportation is not a common option. This loss not only affects the local population, but also diminishes the ability of these communities to connect with the economy and the global market. Small businesses, tourists, and people needing to travel for work or job opportunities may struggle to get around, thus hindering the development and connectivity between different regions of the country. The reduction in flights at small airports is not a random occurrence. One of the main reasons is the rising operational costs for airlines, particularly in the context of increasing fuel prices and other expenses like maintenance and security. Flights to small airports typically do not generate as much profit as major routes, leading airlines to focus on more profitable flights in order to stay operational. In addition, government policies and aviation authorities have also contributed to increasing competition and cost-cutting measures. The drop in demand for travel, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic, has led many people to change their travel habits or choose alternative transportation methods. The big question for Americans is whether they will continue to witness a decline in flights and face empty skies, or if they will find a way to regain their gateway to the heavens. The loss of connectivity in the airline industry could have large-scale consequences, affecting everything from the economy to social interactions. To prevent this trend, one potential solution could be to reform the aviation system, particularly by creating policies that support airlines operating at small airports. The government could consider offering subsidies or incentives to encourage airlines to maintain unprofitable routes, or help local communities develop airports and alternative transportation infrastructure. To reclaim lost gateways to the heavens, a coordinated effort between airlines, government, and local communities may be necessary. Potential solutions could include encouraging policies to support small airports, providing tax incentives or subsidies to airlines to maintain flights to small airports, especially those with high travel demand but low profitability. Developing alternative transportation infrastructure. Communities could look into strengthening alternative transportation connections, such as trains or buses, to replace lost flights, ensuring people can still travel easily between regions. Encouraging innovation and creativity in the aviation industry. Airlines could develop innovative business models, such as shared flights or low-cost regional services, to maintain connections for small communities without incurring too many costs. The shrinking airline network in the U.S., especially the reduction of flights to small airports, is gradually creating a large gap between communities and regions, resulting in significant inconvenience for travelers and residents. Addressing this issue requires close cooperation between airlines, the government, and local communities to ensure that no one is left behind in connecting to the world. We are witnessing a major shift in the U.S. aviation industry, with the reduction in flight numbers, especially to small airports, gradually weakening the connection between communities and the world. The loss of trust in the aviation industry, due to security issues, political turmoil, and rising costs, is creating a significant gap in the U.S.'s global connections. This is not just an aviation issue, but also a crisis for the opportunities and connectivity of American citizens with the world. This could lead to long-term consequences, affecting not only the economy, but also the quality of life for small communities, where convenient travel and connectivity are vital for development. It could also diminish the world's confidence in the U.S. as a dynamic and accessible nation. Think about this change and its consequences. We cannot sit idly by, watching the empty skies without taking action. The government, airlines, and communities must work together to protect travel opportunities, connections, and uphold the American dream. If we want to maintain growth and global connectivity, improving transportation networks and ensuring safety is imperative. Let's act today. To protect our travel, job, and international relations opportunities, we cannot afford to let the U.S. aviation industry lose this critical connection. Together, we can reclaim our gateway to the heavens. Share your thoughts on this issue and join the discussion to protect the future of the aviation industry and America. Thank you for watching the video until the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to always receive fascinating videos about the hot topics in the world. Leave us a sub and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this change? Join the discussion. See you in the next videos.